doing today is doing a little install. We'll get into what we're going to be doing. But, so, this is a Blu-ray, which is pretty obvious. So if I go in, yeah, see, computer's not very happy right now. Doesn't know what to do with the disc, so can't open it. And for me, it wasn't originally a big deal, but I actually do a lot of data copying and backup, and the additional size of a Blu-ray is actually quite useful. So I want the ability to play Blu-rays. So what we have is this. If I can get the damn thing open. Let's see. What this is, I mean, there's quite a few different options out there. You have a lot of different external drives as options, but I just feel like, you know, you want to make sure that you get something that fits the aesthetic here, and this is obviously a slimline computer. You know, I don't want an external DVD drive hanging off, so we have an internal drive. Specifically, this is a Panasonic UJ272, and this is a Blu-ray reader and writer. There are a couple on the market right now. When I say a couple, I mean literally a couple. There's like two maybe that are out there that will actually do 4K. You know, there was a few different options. I went with a Panasonic product primarily because Blu-ray, as everyone knows, well, I would hope, was created by Sony and Panasonic. And obviously the other big thing at the time, if people even remember, was this thing called HD DVD. Now, don't get me wrong, HD DVD died very early. You know, there just wasn't a lot of support for it, and honestly, I kind of agree with that. So it is what it is. So Blu-ray took over, and I have a Sony Blu-ray player and a Panasonic disc drive now. So this is going to be swapping the factory Lenovo drive that I have here. So we're going to have to do a little bit of cutting and whatnot on this. But this is the factory drive, so it works for what I need it to do, primarily. So laptop drives specifically come in 3 different sizes normally. So that's what makes drive swapping so convenient, because they all end up being basically the same size and design. If you notice, the only thing that's different is the bezel. That's it. The bezel's the only thing that's different, and then obviously the mounting hardware and whatnot. When it comes to this though, this is 9.5 millimeters. That's the more common size. And then you have like this sort of ultra slim. This is 9 millimeters. So of course, I mean, you're gonna say, well, hold on, one of these things is not like the other. 9.5 isn't the same as 9 millimeters. So as you can see, that's side by side. So keep in mind, it says that the factory Lenovo drive is 9 millimeters, and it says this aftermarket Panasonic Matsushita drive is 9.5, and as you can see, these line up literally perfect. Like, it's literally the exact same size. The most important thing, I would check your source and make sure that the source you're getting your information from is reputable in the first place, and make sure that they give you the right information, because I was told that this is 9 millimeters and this is 9.5, and this should be a compatibility issue, and as you can see, there's zero compatibility issue whatsoever. They're the exact same size. So, but what we're going to have to do, of course, is eject the drives and swap the bezels. It actually has a very convenient little hole right there that if you have a paper clip, you just stick your paper clip in and that takes care of that situation. But in my case, I don't actually have any paper clips, but I do sew. I'm not going to get into that, but I do sew. So I actually have a sewing kit. Again, I'm not getting into that. Please, nobody leave any comments about that. But traditionally, the best two things, well, the best three things ought to work. A needle, if you have it, like this. A paper clip, or your cell phone SIM card eject tool. Those work pretty well for this particular purpose. Basically, you just put it in the hole. Give a little bit of pressure. Look at that. Hello, moto. There you go. So you never really want to, even if you do replace a drive, you never really want to just throw it aside and, you know, just beat the hell out of it and whatnot. You know, there's always good hardware that comes in these. So the rail system in here is obviously still good. The bezel obviously is in great shape. And my SATA connection, if I ever need to, you know, replace that, and I still have a ribbon connector and everything. So the drive is actually very useful in terms of parts. So the main question is, how do we get the bezel off? And the light on, because it's going to be impossible to see. So there's a couple places, there's two places that this is held in. Right here, you can see there's a push tab right there that's holding it. And the other one is a lot easier. It's right there. Right there. That's the other push tab. All it is this one here. So you want to put a little pressure on this one. And this one also should pop right. There it is. There's our bezel. And that's how we take the bezel off without destroying the damn thing. Because I see so many people like, oh, I broke a piece off. I didn't break anything. So there we go. Alright. So we have our secondary clip right there. As you can see. Right here. And we'll get this one as well. Probably be easier if I lay this flat and tried to pull it. Of course, there's a way to ham fist everything, but the goal here is to try to do this as non-invasive as possible. There we go. There we go. There. And that is the bezel from the other drive. Perfect shape too, so it doesn't matter. I don't need it. So now it's time to put the Lenovo bezel on the new drive. Line up your holes, line up the clip, and it should. There we go. I think it makes more sense to do this long side first and then the side that you depress to do that one second. So I'm going to do that one next. There we go. Bezel installed. Now the only thing we need to do, of course, is transfer. This is the easy part now, which is just removing this, and it's kind of a direct swap, needless to say. Like, that's fairly obvious that this piece is going to go in the same place here, so just going to go ahead and take that off. As you can see, mounting hardware is transferred over, bezel's transferred over, and now this looks like the factory drive. So now all we got to do is just take that out. Alright, so what we're going to do first is we're going to right click into Device Manager, And then we're going to go to DVD CD-ROM drives, HLDTST DVD RAM GUC0N, and we're going to go to uninstall device. Put that back in, and we're going to do uninstall. Okay, and now that is officially uninstalled. Now what we're going to do is power this off, shut down. Yours truly, baby. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and just do the physical swap. ESD strap, it's around my ankle because Linus Tech Tips does it that way, and that actually does make a lot more sense. So we're going to flip the computer over, and this is going to be a pretty simple swap, to be honest. You take the battery out because nobody likes to get electrocuted. Just pull this down. There we go. You can see everything all nice in here. We can see our Samsung solid state. That thing's a monster. We got our upgraded RAM. Some good shit too. It overclocks nicely. And then of course we have the CD drive, which is held in by that one screw right there. So we're going to take that out. There's our screw. And now to get the drive out, it's actually pretty damn easy. Just give a little nudge. Look at that. Hello. There we go. That's the factory drive, which is actually in pretty good shape. So I am definitely gonna save this thing. Ooh, that's dirty. Well, okay, regardless, the drive's in very good shape, so obviously I'm going to save this. Put it in this ESD bag. So if I ever need a backup drive, I got one. That's good. And now we need to put our new star of the show in. Alright, so you're going to put it in like this. Because remember, it's going to open like that. That's the way it opens. So you're going to flip it and put it like that. So, look at that. Almost. It's in. So the drive is now officially in. Now what we need to do is reassemble. Back after reinstallation. So now what we want to do is do the same thing. Right click, go to Device Manager. And if you notice, DVD CD-ROM drives is now there. What is that? Matsushita BD MLT UJ272. And what we want to do is just make sure that it has the most up-to-date driver software. So we'll search for online drivers. Make sure that the software is good to go. There we go. The best drivers for your device are already installed. Regardless, we can double click on here and it says this device is working properly. DVD region, don't put anything in here. Don't select the region. Your drivers, this is where you can see if you want to update the driver, or if you want to see the details for it, or if you want to uninstall it. And it tells you what it is. So it just tells you like basic, it tells you basic information. So this was basically configured the minute I power the computer on. So let's do a very basic test and make sure that it ejects properly. I hate these flush buttons. Woo, look at that. As you can see, it comes out. It comes out fine. Goes in fine. You get the little white light to say that it's thinking. Let's check it one more time. There we go. So we're going to check a few different formats and make sure. So, the first one is going to be a really old burned CD. So, wow, this CD's in horrible shape too. That's good. So, I'm just going to play with VLC. Media, open disc, it's an audio CD, play. There you go. There you go. So I don't want any copyright issues, so that works. And to be honest, that CD is shit. Like, look at this. This CD is garbage. Like, so the fact that that even plays is fairly phenomenal. Next, we're going to try a VCD. This is basically a video CD that I created a long time ago at South Park. Video CDs were what a lot of people are using in China. I mean, you get like 18,000 of these damn things to get one movie. So they didn't catch on because there's only obviously 700 megabytes per CD. So, you know, obviously you're not really going to be able to do much with 700 megabytes, and, you know, your average high quality film is going to be somewhere closer to, like, we'll say maybe like 4 to 5 gigs. So we're going to open this one up. So this is a VCD. So we'll select VCD. There we go. To heartache we stand kind. No promises, no dim.
Causing disease of both body and mind with consequences far away.
Alright, so that plays. Now let's try a DVD. This is from the M&M Show CD that I had. It was special edition, so it came with the DVD. Alright, let's try this one out. I don't know why I closed out VLC each time. That was dumb. I could have just left it open. So now I can go back in and do open disc, and that is just a regular DVD. Play. There we go. So, needless to say, this works. There we go. So that obviously works. So now, the Blu-ray that previously thwarted us before. We're going to go ahead and check that. And we'll see. So I did have a backup set up, and that is this player here, Icy Soft Blu-ray player. We just want to open the disc and confirm that it does play. So obviously it is shown that there it is. So it does show up. It will load the disc, and it loads a menu. The menu isn't really pretty, but you know, for what it's designed to do, it works. And if you go in and play, now obviously I can't play much of this because of copyright issues, but yeah, as you can see, this plays perfectly fine. And I'm just playing a little bit of it, so you can see that it's not like choppy. People say that, oh, if you play it like this, it's choppy. This isn't choppy at all. This isn't choppy at all. There's no problem with the audio. I just muted the audio. So this is just the opening credits, and this plays perfectly fine. And that's all we need to see from this, so we don't get copyright issues. What I've been doing basically is doing like test runs of different DVD types to see, you know, if it successfully will burn. And been mostly successful. This is what I was using before. It's a Sony disc. You know, it has decent write speed, 2.4 to 8 times. I thought these were good. I used to use a lot of these in the past, but I've been using these for a while. And what happens is I get a write error. What I ran into was finding out that these Sony discs are not actually very good quality. So, and I just want to put this out there for anybody that gets the drive. If they try to do a dual layer regular DVD and they run into a issue, when you select to continue, you get this particular message, which is set LO data zone capacity fail, unable to recover TLC, which would be disk table of contents. Usually you're going to get that error if you have a shitty disk, which I didn't know that the Sony discs were shitty up until this point. Will not write. And it made me think that, maybe there's something wrong with my drive. So, what I did was I, did a little bit of digging and realized that the Sony disc, even though they're labeled Sony, they may not actually be, like, the quality standards and control for the disc are not very tightly measured. A company that does actually measure their disc quality pretty notably is this particular company, and that is Verbatim. The main thing, though, is that this is actually a better quality disc. So this exact same project, I just successfully burned it onto this disc. It's the exact same image. But when I put a Verbatim disc in, and keep in mind, it's the same project. I didn't change anything. This is running real time. So you can see I'm not like doctoring this, or I like randomly change the image. So now I didn't change anything. It's still the same test ISO. So now when we try to burn it, yeah, we get the same error message, but then when we go to, look at that, it starts burning. So I don't actually want to burn this right now because I just burned the project and I don't want to waste this disc. But the main thing is I just want to show that now that I've put a legitimate disc in from a legitimate company, not to say Sony's illegitimate, but their discs are definitely sketchy at this point. As you can see, it has no problem burning and I don't get that TOC error, so that's how you know you have a shitty disc. It's not the drive, it's the disc. This drive works flawlessly, of course, so that is how you install this drive and get it working. You'll have to find software to play it. If you want to pay for it, there's plenty of options. If you don't want to pay for it, that's when it gets tricky. So in the interim, I'm going to go ahead and sign out, and best of luck in your adventures. Hopefully you're able to find a player once you get your drive set up. I guess if you got any questions or anything, just leave them down bottom, and I'll do the best I can to respond. Alright, Darnell signing out.